If you're a mom who has lost a child and you're struggling to believe you'll ever feel okay again, this episode is for you. If you've ever wondered, when does this fog lift? When do I stop crying every day? When do I feel close to God again? When does this heavy ache in my chest ease up? When do I finally feel fine? I see you. I've been you. And today, 13 years into this journey, I want to give you the most honest answer I've got. Loud about loss, take one. We're gonna keep this hot tea close today because there's a cold happening and I need to get through this video. After child loss, fine becomes complicated. Like, someone else, how are you? And you're like, well, do you want the polite answer, the real answer, or the answer that will make you uncomfortable enough to never ask me again? For me, fine means I'm not weighed down by grief every single day. I feel close to God again. My emotions are mostly stable, like 70% stable, which in grief time is basically a gold medal. Fine used to mean carefree. Now it means I made it through the day without spiraling into the abyss. That's a win, right? So before I tell you when I finally felt okay, let's talk about the seasons when I was not okay in any universe. There were so many years, literal years, when I thought, okay, God, is this my life? Really? This? Let me paint you a picture. I was pregnant again after losing Gracie, and I was angry. I didn't want another baby. I wanted my baby. I wanted Gracie back. I had to pretend to be grateful while fighting resentment toward everyone who told me, see, God is blessing you. No, Brenda, this isn't a Hallmark movie. And then I got cancer. 2 years of treatment. Doctors even told me I should never have more biological children again. Meanwhile, I'm thinking, God, you know I already have abandonment issues with you, right? Why are we adding another plot twist? And then I got depression. Not the cute, Instagrammable kind where you light a candle and journal. The heavy, suffocating kind where I didn't want to live my life anymore. I cried for no reason. I cried for actual reasons. I cried because my coffee was cold. And then Graves' disease joined the party. Because apparently my body was tired of the spotlight being on cancer and said, tag, you're it, it's your turn. And at one point I remember thinking, if things go well, I should probably start preparing for the next tragedy because that's the pattern. I wasn't just not fine, I was fine adjacent, but only on days ending with Q. Yeah. And then slowly something shifted, and it didn't happen in a dramatic movie moment way. There was no angelic choir singing, no bright light, no Gabriel descending with the clipboard saying, congrats, you've achieved healing. No, it happened quietly. It happened when I published my book. I finally stepped into the calling God whispered years earlier. I started receiving messages from moms saying, your podcast helped me breathe again. Your story made me feel less alone. I haven't felt hope in years until today. And then something happened. Something big, something I can't talk about publicly yet. Annoying, I know. I hate vague influencers too. But just know this. It was something I had dreamt about for 10 years. And I was chosen. I was recognized, and I was named the expert. The one who had walked the road long enough to speak into it. And in that moment, for the first time in over a decade, I thought, I think I'm finally okay. I think I'm finally fine. I'm not healed. I'm not whole every day, but I'm free and steady and rooted and purposefully placed. Now, let's talk about Job for a second. I trust the Bible. Because if anyone understands when will I feel fine again, it's him. If you've never read Job, here's the Spark Notes version, okay? He loses everything, like everything. His health collapses, his friends are worthless, his life becomes a series of unfortunate events. Except there's no happy ending montage with Natasha Bedingfield singing in the background. He literally sits in ashes, scraping boils off his skin. And you thought your Tuesday was bad. But here's the part we miss. Job spends 37 chapters telling God he's not okay. Like, if Job had a therapist, that therapist would need a therapist. Job asks, why me? Why is this happening? When will this end? Where are you, God? Will I ever feel okay again? It wasn't sin, it was honesty. And after all the questioning, all the suffering, all the silence, God shows up. Not with an apology, not with a perfectly tied bowl, not with a PowerPoint explaining the plan, but with presence, with compassion, with a reminder that the story wasn't over. And in time, not instantly, not magically, Job was restored, not to who he had been, but to someone wiser and deeper and softer, stronger, someone who finally felt fine. So when will you feel fine again? Here's my honest answer. There is no timeline, but there is hope. You won't wake up one day magically healed. You won't suddenly move on. You won't go back to who you were. And you aren't supposed to. And there will come a day when your chest doesn't feel tight anymore. You feel close to God again. You breathe without bracing for pain. Joy feels possible. Hope doesn't feel like betrayal. And you wake up and realize, I didn't cry today. And I'm okay. It's not fast, but it's real. And it's coming. If it happened for me, through child loss and cancer and depression and disease and every plot twist, it can happen for you too. And if you're in the thick of it right now, hear me. You are not failing for not being fine yet. You're human and you are grieving, and God is still writing. One day, maybe sooner than you think, you'll look back and say, I didn't think I'd ever feel okay again, but I do. And that moment will be holy. Joy does return. Before you go, friend, I want to share something I've waited 13 years to say. My book, Joy Does Return, is officially available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble and all the places. This book is my heart in printed form. It's everything I wish I had after losing Gracie, when I didn't feel fine, when I couldn't find God, and when I was scared and angry and exhausted. Joy Does Return is for the mom who feels lost in her grief and isn't sure she'll ever feel okay again. If this episode spoke to you, if anything in it made you breathe a little deeper, please get the book. It's waiting for you in the description box below. And I pray it helps you feel less alone and more hopeful than you have in a long time. If today's episode helped you, please hit the like button. It helps more grieving moms find the space. And make sure to subscribe for weekly encouragement, truth, and hope. I love you, friend. And I'll see you in the next episode. Meanwhile, I'm thinking, God, I already have... Okay.